Recently, I found a very interesting thing. Many buyers have no concept of thin and light. Apple released a MacBook Pro last month. Someone messaged me, "Is MacBook Pro good for office?" Honestly, it's absolutely enough for office use. But if we open Apple's website and look at its weight, 1.6 kilogram. Is it heavy? I randomly chose 4 laptops which don't sell for super light. The prices are varied. The heaviest Lenovo IdeaPad S54014 is only 1.31 kg. X1 Carbon with carbon fiber is only 1.13 kg. Apple's lightest MacBook Air for sale now weighs 1.29 kg, almost the same. So if you need to commute every day, you should notice the weight. Don't overestimate the ads and make an impulse purchase. If you take lots of business trips with a laptop, today's review of ThinkPad X1 Nano could help you. Among various configurations, it's a high-end X1 Nano about $2,200. It has an i7-1160G7 chip with 8 cores 16 threads, a 16GB LPDDR4x4266 MHz memory, a 512GB SSD and 16x10 2K display with 450 nits and 100% sRGB color gamut. The battery has a small capacity of 48 watt-hours, in exchange for low height of 13.9 and 16.2 mm and weight of 936 grams, which is 200 grams lighter than X1 Carbon. X1 Nano looks like Carbon, such as the ThinkPad and Lenovo badges. It can be opened with one hand. Besides touchscreen, this one is a non-touch screen with 99.7% sRGB color volume and 96.4% coverage. Delta E average is 1.82 with max 3.85. Maximum brightness is 479.4 nit with DC dimming. Black to white response time is 21.8 milliseconds and gray to gray 36.1 milliseconds. This 2K 16x10 screen is average. It's definitely enough for business use. Let's look back at its body. X1 Nano's keyboard still uses classical, red button, which many people are unfamiliar with. Let's popularize it by this chance. The red button is actually a track point, kind of like a joystick but much smaller. Just press slightly in one direction to move the cursor. We've done moving, how should we click it? That is why the touchpad is designed. There are 3 keys for the left, middle, right buttons. When controlling the red button, you can use your thumb to click them. Although it's troublesome to get used to it, later you'll find that the red button is more precise than the touchpad. As for the feel of the keyboard, it has 1.35 mm of travel. The overall feel is not as good as that of P15V, T14 and so on. But the bounce and keycap are comfortable. Considering the keycap and trackpoint, this keyboard is of normal level. There is an air inlet on the left bottom case with a C in the bottom, meaning that this laptop is made of carbon. As for the I/O, X1 Nano only has a 3.5 mm audio jack and 2 Thunderbolt 4. And a SIM card slot is in the back. The power button is on the right. After the appearance, what's your first impression of ThinkPad X1 Nano? In my opinion, it inherits X1 series traditional design, but it's very different from X1 Carbon. The biggest difference is its scalability. X1 Nano pursues extreme portability, so it's smaller with only a USB-C and an audio jack. It's a business laptop putting portability in the first place. Now looking at the test benchmarks. First of all, in Cinebench R20 loop test, except for over 2,000 scores at the first time, the rest fluctuated around 1600 to 1800. We also checked the temperature and power during the test. At the beginning, CPU power reached over 30 watts, and 35 watts for the first 4 times. But from the second time on, the power dropped below 25 watts after rising, even below 20 watts. The power setting is consistent with i7-1160G7, which applies UP4 processor and is not in the same range with H35 and UP3. X1 Nano doesn't have a DGPU, but an iGPU of Iris Z i7-1160G7 with 96 EU. We checked benchmarks. Although GPU remained the same, temperatures and power still limited its performance. In light of its role, test for intensive applications is wiped out, such as standalone games and video editing. We tested 3 online games and CS could run in lowest settings. PS could run smoothly, but games with complex graphics didn't work. Now we will disassemble it to learn more. Remove all screws to uncover the bottom case. It's a typical ThinkPad style with many stickers inside. Orange and blue antennas of 5G network make the untidy layout even more chaotic. Battery takes up most space. The battery life test of PC Mark 10 for office use is 11 hours and 14 minutes. Although battery is small, power adjustment is great. On the top right is a 512GB SSD of Western Digital SN530, M.2 2242. There is a 16GB soldered memory of LPDDR4X and 4266 MHz. There is a 5G module which a high-end one supports with 20GB per month for free for 12 months. You can use up to 20G a month, or your 5G will be cut off. You will get another 20G next month and unused traffic can't be accumulated. To avoid misunderstanding, read carefully the Article 10 of the agreement before purchase. Under the 5G module is a small piece of Wi-Fi card, an Intel AX201 supporting Wi-Fi 6. On the left of the Wi-Fi card is a fan and on the right is a CPU core. A single heat pipe and the fan constitute the thermal system. A flat heat pipe runs through the body, which is an unusual design. We chose Stress CPU test for light business laptop. With 25 degrees around, under full load, CPU ran at 16 watts, 76 degrees and max 83 degrees, and 3.5 GHz. The heating area extends from the left to the right, with keycap at an average temperature lower than 40 degrees and max 42.5 degrees. The temperature control is okay except a relatively large heating area due to the thin body. For a higher bottom temperature, the core has reached 47.2 degrees. At this time, the noise of a full-loaded fan was 39.4 decibels, which is a fairly low figure under BIBA test standard. The thermal test indicates that this is an extremely thin laptop in pursuit of silent operation. Its power setting is conservative, aiming at Office, Teams video meeting and simple PS applications. It will be a great laptop if the heating area of the keyboard surface can be well controlled. After a review of the basic information, we listed 3 pros and cons for your reference as usual. Pros. Firstly, excellent weight control. This X1 Nano weighs 936 grams. I also bought a low-end version powered by i5 chip. It only weighed 901 grams. With a 175-gram adapter, this computer is really light and portable. Secondly, access to 5G network with 1-year traffic for free. People on business who need network will subconsciously look for Wi-Fi or hotspot. With X1 Nano, fast internet is accessible once open. The pleasure can only be understood after real experience. Thirdly, good noise control. As a quiet-oriented machine, its fan noise is still very restrained even under the highest load. If you often go to the library, this laptop will never disturb others. Cons. Firstly, lack of ports. As a business laptop, scalability is also as important as height and weight. Thunderbolt 4 ports can connect other ports through a docking station, but it's for sure that transfer is not so convenient as direct plug-in. Secondly, large heating area under heavy load. Since the heat pipe runs through the whole machine, the whole keyboard is a little hot. Besides, I checked the disassembly pic and found that X1 Nano's exhaust vent is on the right side of the body, affecting the hand that controls mouse. It could be a disadvantage since winter is coming. Thirdly, high extra price for 5G network. There are many specs options for X1 Nano. For example, for a 2K non-touch display with i7, 16G and 512G, Wi-Fi and 5G are available. Under same specs, the Wi-Fi version costs $1,500 while the 5G version costs $2,200. That is, you have to pay extra $600 for a 5G module. Though 5G is convenient, I'm afraid the price bump is only affordable to executives. To conclude, I recommend it to top business people who like extreme lightness. They care more about weight than price. Internet access is ready at any time. It is a very elegant product to use even for business class flights. But if you want to add some utility to elegance, slightly heavier X1 Carbon is still my favorite. After the review, I believe you also feel that X1 Nano looks like ThinkPad but not really a ThinkPad. The ThinkPad I know is a heavy black block with average screen quality but good keyboard feel and various ports, but this one is extremely light with a high-quality display, ordinary keyboard feel and few ports, running counter to a traditional ThinkPad. In my opinion, it's good that ThinkPad released X1 Nano, which means the company is still striving for innovation. Besides, X1 Titanium also gives me the same impression. Do you think they resemble ThinkPad? No, that's right. That's all for this video. If you enjoy this video, hit like and subscribe. If you want to interact with me every day, you can follow us on WeChat official account. I will talk about a laptop there every day. This laptop may be good or bad, but we only have one single purpose: to share information and provide guidance. This is BIBA Review Studio. I'm Jawan. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.